Oh, yeah, that is. This is Between Hooksets. I'm Chasen Walter from In Through the Outdoors with my partner in slime, Kurt Underhill from the fishing crew.
You finally look like you should be setting a hook with that jersey on there, bud.
You know, I haven't had this thing on for like a year. But not like it matters, because I certainly don't wear it because I'm a tournament fisherman, right? I wear it at tournaments so that people know who I am right away without going, hey, you're the,
Yeah, 100%.
So honestly, though, I've got to admit that I was pleasantly surprised and kind of taken back a little bit by the number of people that watch Between Hooksets.
Yeah, thank you for all the fans out there watching.
Yeah.
I've been telling you for a while that there's a lot more than we think watch this show. So
I guess so. Like I tell all of them, thanks for watching. Thanks for, being loyal about it. And, we're not trying to be famous. We're just trying to have a ton of fun. And you know what? Jeff's popping in here. Let's do this real quick and get to him, because there's a story to tell, right? So let's get Jeff in here and say hi.
How you doing, bud?
Hey guys, how are you? Thanks for having me on. Sorry, I'm a little late.
Hey, you know what? That's okay. Honestly,
no.
I mean this in a good way. It's the longest weigh-in I think I've ever stood for, because my legs are so tired. But there were 160 boats. There were a few things going on, but so what? It was really actually a pretty good day out near that big old Walleye Up statue and in front of the National Walleye Tour trailer. So I don't know. We never had a chance to talk. You haven't had a chance to talk to anybody. Some the first day up.
Yeah, so I mean, the first day was probably better than we anticipated, just based on what the guys were saying at the rules meeting last night. I mean, some of them were talking about, they saw a they're looking at a snake over by the truck. Sorry. A lot of them were talking, they hadn't seen a walleye all week, or they just, caught one, or, and some of that is just talk sometimes. But I do think it's been tough for the anglers. And today we saw, not a ton of really big baskets, but we saw enough of the 3 to 5 fish under baskets that it's going to keep guys interested and possibly even in it for a check. And those that are trying to qualify for 27, it's what they need to keep themselves in the hunt.
And how many positions are you paying? Because I had a few people ask me in the crowd.
Yeah, I actually don't have. I don't want to say the wrong number. I don't have it out in front of me at this 2 seconds, and I've got like half my notes here and other half in a different spot. I don't want to give the wrong spot. But our payouts and stuff like that are all, you can see a lot of the payout stuff online at nationalwalletetour.com. You'll see how it all lays out with 125, and of course with more than that, go down the list. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I'm guessing, you don't have to answer this. I'm guessing you're probably going to be somewhere in that 35 to 40 slot range if I had to guess, what you guys, your payout structure is. So, I mean, I don't want to make a shot here, but I'm kind of glad that you guys lost power today. See, it happens to other people. Our last event, we lost power right as the guy put his foot on the first step of the stage, the power went. And I'm like, oh, it's not just us. Like,
it's, it's incredible to like go through all of these. And I have dozens upon dozens of events where nothing's gone wrong. Right. But it seems like the ones that get a little bit more attention are the ones that end up, something just goes a little sideways or haywire. And yeah, the loss of power, we were on power here on site, and we ended up starting a generator. And after that, we were fine. But sometimes you just never know what's going to end up happening. And then, really what took the longest was getting guys off the ramp down at Indian Creek. And it's a little bit of a drive in, but getting guys off the ramp is really what took the longest. There's only so many spots there. You got to get out. Got to strap down at least enough to get to town, things like that. So it takes a little bit of time.
Anytime you don't pull into a marina or pull right out to weigh in, It just adds that factor. You can't, I mean, tomorrow it might be seamless and it's just boom, 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 boom. The next time it's like, where are they all at? Like, why do I got 1? I got 7. Now I'm waiting on 10 more, unless they're right there. I tell people, like, weigh-ins are going to start 3:00. That's what time we start scales. But that doesn't mean we're going to be a steady flow. And as much as we try to make a steady flow, that factor of when you have to drive.
Yeah, right. Well, and honestly, we got very lucky that Dylan Nussbaum was at the end of the line for the most part, because that brought the excitement. Bo came in with 26.9 before anybody even got there.
Yeah,
it was. I think Cardenas even said, "I never got a picture of Bo." And then Dylan comes in with 28 even and a couple of really nice fish, and it feels like it's maybe his year this year.
I mean, he's obviously, he's always in the hunt, right? He's always got an opportunity there. And knowing Dylan from a number of years back, running NTCs, he's fishing with his dad, and they even fish some MWCs, things like that. It's really neat to see that progression. And I can, I look at him, Austin Tomasek, some of these younger guys that really have got a crack at. There's a chink in the armor somewhere, that these guys can get in yet. And with all the talk here of anglers having to go to maybe some old school tactics just to find some fish, you look at the top few boats, they're still doing what is really the hottest thing right now, and that is scoping fish and sharpshooting them,
Oh,
yeah, but it's interesting to listen to them talk individually, because basically the talk is the same. That short bite, that rod loading up, you think it's there, you go to set it, gone.
Yeah.
And then I think the other thing that I picked up from a fair amount of guys too is the fact that when they're letting go and just swimming away. They're not speeding off. It's all kind of a lethargic kind of deal, and that surprised me. I thought the sun coming out and no wind might help today. I don't know if it hurt. I don't know what hurt, but something turned off for a lot of these guys today.
Yeah, and I don't know what this wind's going to change. And we heard a lot of talk about water conditions changing. Certainly that could really have a huge effect on the plan that these anglers go in with. And without really knowing all of the details of Dylan's day, or Bo's day for that matter, coming into the day with the wind already there, they might be chasing bites just like everybody else and struggling too. But that's what makes it exciting to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I people that said it was a tough day, I mean, 28 pounds on 5 fish with only 2 over 20 is a banger bag with 26 in second, 25, 24, 24, 22, 22, 21, 21, and 21 to make the top 10.
Yeah.
Like, dude, the bite is incredible. Like, I mean, it really, the big fish are there. I mean, I was watching on live. I'll be up there tomorrow afternoon to watch the weigh-ins, but wow, what a good weigh-in. And people, you had Chad come in with 3 fish for 19 pounds.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, what the, I do like his comment that he gets paid to catch slots all day, and I'm going to throw a jab at Chad right now because I know he watches. You failed today. You're not getting a tip if you can't catch slots. Come on, bud. But no, I mean, it's incredible. The fishing. I mean, show me the last time Mobridge weighed 28 pounds for 5 fish.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
And all the times you've been there, I remember what was the NTC there the last time I was there. It was, one team caught a limit all 3 days. One team.
Yep.
And now you're looking at, there were big fish caught, but they weren't catching slots.
Yeah.
Or guys were catching slots, and it didn't matter. They could make the cut.
The other interesting thing is there were a few pre-spawn walleye caught today.
Yeah.
There were a couple of big females that were caught, which that surprised me.
Yeah, and I was even surprised at some of the water temps, and it seemed like there was kind of a swing in water temps depending on where you were at. We were trying to get our tanks as dialed in as possible, and it seemed like every person we asked had a wildly different water temp. And so I'm sure that has a lot to do with whether or not those females are holding on yet. And, I don't know exactly what your spring looked like out here. Quite often you get a trickle type of spawn, and then there's always going to be a percentage of fish that don't spawn. They just reabsorb the eggs, and that's how they're going to survive for the next year. So,
we went 90 to blizzards to 80 to 40s. I mean, we haven't had a steady week at all. You get 2-3 days of warm, and then it goes to absolute cold. You look at the extended forecast, like finally, and then all of a sudden you get close, and it's like, oh, we're going to throw a 31-degree day in there on you.
Your frost and freeze warnings. That was your freeze warning this morning was. I guess it shouldn't be surprising. We got it in Wisconsin too, but it certainly can mess with any kind of pattern of any sort.
So, well, I gotta pop up a picture quick before I forget, because we're talking about Chad Schilling. So, did you give him the mic or did he take it?
Chad takes the mic. That's fine. I don't mind. There are certain guys that I already know are going to grab the mic from me. He's one of them. He was good at the last MWC. He didn't grab it. He didn't grab it right away. But it's totally fine. These guys, this is their playground. This is where they get to have fun, and the banter between all of the anglers it's part of why I really enjoy this job. It's fun to be around that camaraderie, because I think all of these anglers, push come to shove, they would help every single one of them in line, and it's just neat to see those relationships. And I mean, I give my crew a hard time. I understand all of that too. So.
Yeah, it's fun to stand there in the crowd and have those guys up behind you or beside you, talking to everybody, so especially some of the younger guys and some of the rookies and things like that. It's really super neat to see.
Yeah. So, in your tenure doing this, have you seen a rookie class this big?
No, probably not. And I feel like the rookie, sophomore, junior classes that are in here right now are about as strong as you'll ever see. You can think back to 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. You maybe could pick one or two guys out. Right now, I feel like you've got a handful to even, 10 that you'd be like, any given day, they're going to cash a check. Any given day, they're going to be sitting at least with a shot in the hot seat consistently. It's a lot of fun to watch. I know everybody's got their own opinions of how they're doing it and things, but I think we all can understand that if we embrace the technology and understand the responsibility that we have when utilizing that technology, this is fun, man. This is a blast to watch. And anybody who would argue that, it takes less skill or something like that, obviously has not spent a whole lot of time playing with it, because you'll talk to every single one of these guys that has been doing this for 30 years that's trying to catch up in a sense. And they'll be like, man, all due respect, I've still got to try to figure it out. And to hear that is just incredible, because you figure they've got it all figured out by now.
Yeah, no, not completely. But the good thing is, and I talked to a couple of guys, I think Troy from Aberdeen and another guy. I'm trying to remember everybody's faces and names, and you know how it is. It's not that easy to do. But some of these older guys that are about my age, 55 to 60, that are like, I'm doing this thing. I've finally decided I'm doing it, and I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a game. It's evolving. I don't like the fact that some circuits are limiting the technology. Let's just run with it. I mean, it's so dumb. The argument in bass fishing, it was so much more fun to watch them when they didn't have it. The only difference is they went from this to this.
Yeah, right.
They're back, right? You did nothing. Right. Nothing changed. You still, all the difference is their head was up. Now it's down. It's not, don't use it as an excuse. Don't be a hater on it. Embrace the technology, and it's fun. And look at, like, that goes back to the rookie class comment. I mean, do you take it away? Maybe you'd have this bigger rookie class, but I don't think you would.
Yeah, I don't think you would. I don't think you would. I mean, I think the ability for these young anglers to get in here and even believe they've got a shot, whether they truly do or not. I think the technology is what evens that field, because everything else being the same, we're still dealing with $125,000 boats and a life beyond fishing. And so the technology, if you can get in the boat, even if it's a borrowed boat or whatever it may be, if you can learn the technology, you got a chance, otherwise.
Right.
Why would you buy a $120,000 boat right now if you didn't want to learn the whole game,
Well, and that's just it. And I love the technology aspect of it, and I embrace it. I mean, I tell people, I mean, you've been probably running around doing terms, 10 years now, Jeff? Probably is about
Yep. 10 years.
You're 10 years. I've been doing this 18 years, and I tell people, when we're 10 years ago, you were setting up for tournaments different than you are today, right? Now we're worried about where cameras are positioned and what we're doing with this feed, and if we got Starlink running, and if we got this running. When I started this game, if you didn't drive down to the weigh-in and take a picture of the dry erase board, you barely knew who was getting any, what they had for weights. And now if your feed goes out or your mic cuts out or whatever, people are instantly chirping at you, right? Like,
You're right.
Oh, don't I know it?
I mean, it's like, it's so different, even in the last 5 years, how we've had to change the tournament. And the people expect, the same people that bitch about live scope are bitching that we're not fully technically advanced. And what I mean? I'm like, you're mad that the kids are using the technology to scope and catch these fish, but you want us to have more technology than we can even have.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's an oxymoron. Come on, guys. Like, let's open your eyes. You want a camera. You want to be able to see them in their boat fishing. You want to talk to them in the morning. You want to see this. You want to see that. But then when they're out there using the technology given to them, you're mad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. For sure. I'm always open to technology. I think I think it is great. And again, it's all under the understanding that we have a responsibility to the resource. That we don't need to abuse it. It is that old adage of, Spider-Man or whatever, wherever it came from, with great power comes great responsibility. And that's really what it is.
Sometimes I like to remind people about technology, like the barbed hook. That was technology. Monofilament line was technology.
Absolutely.
Okay. So it's never going to stop. It'll always keep going,
And that's always my argument with that technology side. And that's what we've discussed within amongst ourselves is this the line you're going to draw in the sand? Because the next technology is coming.
Right.
And how long are you going to wait before you allow it? Because it's going to pass you by in 20 years and you're going to be stuck there. And everybody else is going to be over there, So if this is the line in the sand, you better be darn sure you're satisfied with that, and you take it what happens. So,
well, I when the argument first started with it, and then we can move on from this conversation. Is I used to say, well, nobody bitched when we got GPS maps. I remember fishing with the round compass on the boat, right? Like and lining up 2 points, and I said this to people, and they're like, well, that's a safety factor. We were just as fine out there with no GPS maps growing up as we are today, right? Like,
right.
And then nobody complained when we had spot lock,
right?
Come on, like
at one point a Hilux bottle and rope was technology, right?
Yep.
I mean, whatever. And Jeff, we're on the Mobridge radio station Facebook page and decided to add that to our Dakota Radio Group Mobridge page. So let's get a little in about Mobridge here before we get into the weeds or you have to go. Did Mobridge not show up? I mean, they showed up in fine fashion today to the tune of I'm guessing a couple hundred people.
Yeah, no, it was great. I love coming to Mobridge. They love the tourism industry here. I mean, whether it's hunting, whether it's fishing, rodeo, they come out and support what's going on in town. And now there's not a lot of other stuff going on around here. I get it, but but you know, you got to have that. And I talked about it on stage that not only do you have, you know, folks coming to the weigh-in, the volunteer base just to make all of this happen is incredible. The amount of buggies that were down here, and you know, you can only pull so many boats out at a time, but I guarantee you nobody was waiting for a buggy to pick them up to get them to their truck. You know, and same thing down here. We had volunteers moving the trucks around. And so by the time the anglers came off the stage and had their pictures taken, their truck is, you know, 150 yards up from where they had it, you know, and they do a fantastic job there. And Mobridge, everywhere we go, the folks know we're here. They know the anglers are here. They recognize that. They thank us. They thank the anglers because they know that they harbor something special here with this body of water. And they love to see people come and appreciate that. And then they also know that then in turn, it benefits the community greatly, especially a community that is in the middle of, you know, an open area. We won't say nowhere. It's open.
Well, I mean, there were restaurants that aren't open on Mondays and Tuesdays, and they were packed because they were open Monday and Tuesday, and it was a big thing. So kudos to the Mobridge Chamber of Commerce and of course Mobridge Tourism. They do a fantastic job, and they're instrumental in getting you guys to come to Mobridge.
Yeah, working with them, you know, I've worked with them for many events, the NTCs, the MWCs. We even were talked at one point about doing a bass event out here, and that stuff like that may still happen. They're just they see the value in having events like this here. They see the value in these anglers coming in and spending their time and spending their money. And I it's awesome to be able to work with. I don't see any of this money personally, so I don't want anybody to think like, you know, anything that's coming around is I'm looking for a paycheck that way or something like that. We're looking for the partnership back and forth for both the National Walleye Tour and Mobridge, Masters Walleye Circuit and Mobridge. You know, all of them because we both benefit.
Well, and I think look at this. They brought the Bassmaster Elite Series to Mobridge. Right. Yeah. I mean, Pierre did too. Kudos to Pierre for that. We should do it again. Mobridge, I guarantee you, when they put Mobridge, South Dakota on the map, half the elite anglers went, where?
Where? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but
you're going to have to give me a map to that one. Yeah.
Right. Does GPS even take me there? Like, you know? And they showed up, and I mean, the community was huge support of all that. And we work with the Mobridge Chamber and their outdoor committee, and they're great, and they understand it. They want the events. They know that it's important to the community, and they go above and beyond for all fishing, hunting, outdoor activities. Because that's what drives their community, right? I mean, that's what drives their community, and it's a really good thing. And like I said, hats off to the city of Mobridge and Mobridge Tourism. And, you know, I mean, how many other places you go have a walleye statue?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's only a handful, but none of them have one that looks like this. I can tell you that.
The cowboy riding a metal walleye. Yeah, I mean, they put money into that to make that happen down there, to have an incredible place. Just they call it Walleye Way Up because that's where they want to do weigh-ins. I mean, I remember going to FLWs or something when it was up the street in the little square, and then they built this
Wrigley
area
Square,
just for this community, just for this deal. So hats off to Mobridge. It's great.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I mean, 160 boats, probably one of the biggest NWTs ever.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know the full history of it, having started with 2023, but you know, certainly we haven't seen numbers quite like this since I've been involved. It's been a while, I know, since even shortly before 2023 and all that. It would have to be pretty historic from back in the day to get into those types of numbers.
We had Mark Ports on last week, And he's like, I'm thinking it's the biggest ever NWT. Now, if you go back to the FLW, PWT, then no, but since the inception of NWT, it's got to be one of the biggest ones, if not the biggest one. And when I heard the number, I was like, what?
Yeah. So was I, to be totally honest. See, I mean, you understand the logistics of running an event are based on how many boats you've got to move back and forth, how many people you need to move back and forth, how much staff you have and volunteers you have and all of that. So as that number grows, the logistics grow. You gotta make sure you can handle that type of stuff. And so, I wasn't shocked because Mobridge always shows out. Lake Oahe is hot right now. It's one of those places that is a destination fishery. It's what makes like an NTC so great here is that you've got people from all over the country, grassroots that are able to get here. Obviously, the pro side wanted to come and play here as well. And so 160 boats, it is a great number. It's one of those like next year we're going to this, qualifying. You gotta it'll be cut down into the exclusive group. And I hope that seeing this 160 boats, I hope the guys that are here just for this event, it gives them a little drive to be like, man, this was a lot of fun to be a part of. And they find a way to qualify for this going forward. There are a couple of ways out there that are in the rules at nationalwalletetour.com that folks can find that may give them an opportunity to get into 27. And then those rules will lay out, the 27 rules will lay out what happens beyond that. And hopefully they'll enjoy this opportunity and maybe take more beyond that.
So let's get into a little bit, what you guys kind of have out there. If you've got any more insight on what you got, let's talk about what, other than saying we're limited in the field, let's talk a little bit about what the plan is for 2027. And obviously I'm putting you on the spot. So the best of your knowledge and without having your notes in front of you, give us a little, before we get into that, the mayor in Mobridge said he's getting here late. There's a traffic jam in town.
Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah. It's, that's good. I mean, the traffic, obviously these boats coming in drove people here, and it's pretty awesome to see.
Yeah. Let's go boat. Oh, here, let me pop this up and people will understand. It's going really slow here to pop pictures up, and I didn't have an opportunity to do the whole black screen thing. I'm popping pictures up. Let me do this real quick too. There it is. If you've never seen Walleye up, there you go. And man, everything is just reacting really slow. But back to 2027.
Yeah, so 2027. To be honest, what's in our published rules here for 2026. That's the loose structure that they've got set up for right now, and we're gonna get things dialed in as we go through here. There's a whole crew of folks with Outdoor Teamworks that is hammering out those details. There's a train coming through here, so you probably hear that. But there's a whole group with Outdoor Teamworks that's getting that stuff together, and I'll end up, being a part of that kind of on the outside. What's unique about my position is that, as the tournament director for the NWT, I'm not outside looking in, obviously. It's just that the dynamic of where it works is I'm a hired hand through Federation Angler, who's a hired hand through to Outdoor Teamworks. And so Outdoor Teamworks, this is their business. And I try to enforce those rules. As far as what's written for 27, it's in a sense under lock and key for now as they figure out exactly what they want, because they don't want anything getting out there that they need to change or anything like that. And they want to make sure everything gets out prior to the end of this regular season, so that anybody that is looking to qualify, looking to get to that last event, looking to stick that money in, is confident in what they will see going forward when they do qualify.
Yeah, I mean, so I obviously kind of break it down for the people watching of it's going to be a limited field, qualifying only, talk about the co-side of things, kind of talk about what is out there to the best of your knowledge,
Yeah. So right now we've got it's listed as 55 of the point from the point system here in 2026 that will automatically qualify for the 2027 NWT season. So you finish in the top 55, you get to roll on. You know your spot's locked in for 2026. After that, there's a couple different qualifying ways that you can get in as that pro. And one of the ways is if you're fishing as a co-angler here, in the top number of co's, I think it's top 5 co's, they're going to give an opportunity to those co-anglers to make the jump from co to pro in 2027. If those spots are not taken by co-anglers, those top 5 co-anglers, those spots will roll back into the pro angler side. So if none of the 5 take it, then we're up to 60 in the point structure for the National Walleye Tour for 2026 National Walleye Tour. We've also got the opportunity through the Masters Walleye Circuit, where we've got a number of pro and co spots because the Masters Walleye Circuit is a team event. They laid it out where they gave the Masters Walleye Circuit, I think it's 5 pro and 5 co spots, I believe, off the top of my head. And is that what it is? I mean, yeah, that's what it is. And so as a team, if you finish in the top points for MWC, you'll be offered those opportunities. And the way that'll work is, let's say you and your partner, you finish as the team of the year in MWC. If you and your partner both want to go pro on the NWT side, that's 2 of those pro spots gone. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. And then we go down the list. And so maybe by the time we get to, team 3 and 4, there's only co spots left. Or we have teams that don't take that. And those, again, roll back to the pro side on the NWT. Same with the NTC. That opportunity will come here from the 26 NTC up at Sault Ste. Marie, where I think it's the top 3 teams will be offered spots. Same deal. Because that's a team event, you'll have that chance to choose if you want to go pro or come over as a co to get in there. And you're locked in as a co that way. You're locked in as a, in a sense, a priority co if that's what you wanted to do. And then locked in as a pro. And then beyond that, there is a notation that they reserve the right to add spots as they see fit. And there's been conversations around doing a legends exemption or any various amount of reasoning to allow spots to be added, whatever that may be. And again, those are the pieces where that's going to be an outdoor teamwork decision. Yeah. Who and what that really looks like. And it may even come down to, they chose the number 55. It may even come down that they adjust that slightly based on what they see through the point structure here in 2026. And again, the goal is to make that exclusive, to make it that we can take a group of pro anglers who is really in it as pros. Not that we don't love the guys that come and fish the one-offs. But they're looking at as the NWT is the highest level in that walleye fishing, and we need to make it a little bit desirable. I want to get in there. I want to try to get in there. I want to make it exclusive. So that's where that comes from.
Yeah, I like it. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think to just out of my guessing and doing tournament stuff is, 55 was basically up until this year was basically the number of touring pros you had.
Yeah, it was close. Yeah, it was close.
50 number,
Yep.
Give or take, over the years, give or take a few, but that was basically the pool of guys that traveled to everyone.
Yep.
Then you'd have your, I hate to call them jackpotters, but that's what the other anglers call them.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I just, the guys who only want to come to one is what I believe I said.
Yeah, there you go. I hate when people call them the jackpotters, but the guys that don't have the career to just leave and fish 4 of them, 5 of them, which is kind of sad to see to go. You look at the Schilling crew. I mean, there's a few other guides. Ben Beadle's fishing it, and Hunter Friend, and who knows if they have the time to take off and go fish all the rest? You know what I mean? Like they make their money guiding, so it's tough to go do these things. So it's all them scenarios, right, that make the NWT what it is. But I don't disagree making it elite, right? Make it elite.
I like it. I love it.
You know, we all love it. We've said it for years. Now I've said this too to the pro anglers, and I'm not scared to say it out loud. Like this, you're not a professional football player. So by going to an elite series, you're not getting paid. I had a guy tell me one time, is the best analogy he said. He goes, I'm not saying they're not pro athletes, but they're like a race car driver. If a race car driver loses M&Ms on the side of his car, he doesn't have a ride tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the pro athlete you are. You're not the professional football player that the team pays ungodly $200 million a year contract to. You know what I mean? Like, I wish it was. I think everybody here listening, everybody on the podcast wishes there was enough dollars to say, here's everybody's money. You make $150,000 a year, and all you do is fish, and you don't got to worry about getting sponsors. But that's not the reality of the world.
Right.
And we don't have a half or 2 hour show that everybody's captured in like a football game, right? Or a full weekend event. And unless you're a diehard, it's really, you know, the Elite Series does it great. I watch a lot of them, but it's hard to, you know, life gets in the way to sit there. You can take 2 hours to say, we're watching the Vikings whoop the Packers' butt. I had to do that for you. The
Vikings. I'm quiet. I'm quiet. That's fine. That's fine. You can take that dig. That's all right.
You know, I had this. You know, we have 2 hours. We can do that on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Now you have all through the day, and we're not in a bowl where we can capture with cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We're on a big body of water, hundreds of miles, that has crappy cell phone service at best, you know, like, I mean, you know, so it's such a different thing to promote, right?
Yeah.
I love it more than any other sport in the world. Like, I would watch fit if you said there's the Bassmaster Classic's on or the Super Bowl's on, I'm watching the Bassmaster Classic.
Sure.
You know, I mean, and I think a lot of people are like that, but I love the fact that you're going to that. I absolutely love the fact that we can follow along with these guys. And going to kind of give you a little jab here. Put the number of teams out Friday after the rules meeting. Let us know who's fishing. You know,
we want to know.
That's a big thing we've heard from a lot of people. Well, how many teams they got? Well, I've heard rumors of this. Let it out Friday. Let it out after your rules meeting, right? Say, hey, here's our team list. And then like I sit and watch the morning takeoff and listen to see if I can hear who's in it. Right. But a lot of people don't know who's in it until the weigh-ins are over. You're like, oh shoot, you know, Hunter Friends fishing, you know,
sure.
I mean, I get it. There's so many things to do as a tournament director, but if you could just put that list up there so everybody knows who's in that event, that would, you would make our lives a lot better, so we can kind of see who we're going to cheer for. You know,
sure.
Because at the end of the day, I mean, even you as a tournament director, we're still fans at heart, or we wouldn't do this.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. I mean, what, you're not making millions?
No. I mean, my Learjet sitting out in the street and just got delivered.
Yeah.
It's right behind my Rolls Royce pulling it down the road, you know.
Right. Yep.
No,
for sure.
You know, it's a lot of work, and people kind of razz on you when the signal's bad or whatever. And we go to remote locations. We do the best. Like when the power went out today, I just kind of had to give you some crap because it happens to us, right?
Yeah.
It's how you rebound from it. And you guys rebounded very well. Hey, we got a power outage, and it's in today's technology, like we talked earlier, it's not like you can just put the power back on. You got to get Starlink to reboot. You got to get this to reboot. Like, everything's web based, so it's like, oh, we lost power. Give us 5 minutes. You know.
Yep. I was seconds away from telling the office, like, we're doing paper right now. Like, we're gonna keep rolling. But honestly, it's just, you got to have. You got to accept that there's got to be a little time there. It takes a little time.
Yeah, well, honestly, you roll with it, and you do the best you can do. You pulled off a great one today, because I didn't even know that you lost power out in the audience. Really didn't have a clue. There was just a, I don't know, small stall, but we're all talking, and then all of a sudden here it goes, it starts. So I think it was great. I think the only thing for me is like, okay, I got to sit down at some point here, because my knees but I'm just getting old. That's all it is.
I thought about, like, maybe tomorrow I put a small stool up here if it's gonna be that long, but no.
I felt for you.
We'll be good.
No, it'll go quicker. It wasn't that big a deal. It was actually a ton of fun, and it went very well.
And kind of thank God that you did this. The weigh-ins weren't stacked up, because you're like me, the number one in catch and release tournament. We got to get those fish back in the water. The tank systems are great, but we need to get them things back into fresh flowing water with what they need as fast as we possibly can. And that's, so you have that power outage, and you're like, well, we can't go anywhere, but we also don't want to kill a bunch of fish back in that line over there.
So let me just, I'm going to pop up a picture, because I was at the tank the whole day taking pictures, right? And so just about every basket that came through and got dipped in the tank before it went to the live well to go back to the river, this is how they looked. And that's a good looking basket of a live fish. And if you saw the big one, that was one of the biggest fish that weighed today. It was a monster, and it was in great shape. There were 100 and some baskets of fish, and there wasn't a dead one.
Yeah, right? There was not. We did not have a single dead fish penalty all day today. The anglers have done a great job. Certainly helps that the water temps are still relatively low. And they're hardy fish out here as well. And I think we talked about technology earlier. I know everybody is going to these different systems, these different formats for these tournaments, but the technology has really been poured into a lot of these live wells and things like that too. Those have changed dramatically over the course of the last 30, 40 years. And they all really do a great job at keeping fish alive. And the anglers, especially your regular touring pros, do a fantastic job. They've got their own ways of doing things to keep those fish alive, because they've been doing it a long time. And the anglers did a great job. My other release boat's coming back. In fact, it's coming down the road right now from doing the last drop. And we had a great release today, and we look forward to doing it again tomorrow.
It was nice to see a bunch of big fish with their eyes intact. Right? None of the fish came out of deep water. None of them came out dead. None of them came out with their eyes bulged out. Their air bladder bulged out. Nothing. All these fish look super healthy going back into the water.
Yep. And I know in South Dakota, it tends to be a little bit more rare to do the live release weigh-ins. All really depends on where you're at and what your logistics are. An offsite, it's a little bit tougher. Fortunately, we've got two really big pontoon boats that are fully set up with a live oxygen system on them. We're completely ready for something like this. So we took that opportunity knowing that we wanted to at least do our very best to put as many fish back into this system as we possibly could. And we really pride ourselves on doing that well.
Yeah, you guys got a great setup, and we do pretty much all schedule weigh-ins up till June 1st beside a body of water just to do releases, right? Like we're very anal up until June 1st, and I've had the conversation with the game fishing parks that we could move that date a little bit, right? I think that date could move. I'm not saying we have to make it catch and release year round, because we know when it gets hot and they go deep that we're going to have a high mortality. But we could move that date, because when you wrote that rule, it was maybe a 5-gallon bucket with a bubbler or a tin-sided live well and a tiller, right? Our live wells, you said it best, have came so far, and the G-juice and the tablets and all the fish care stuff that's out there to bring those fish back has come so far in technology that we're looking at a 1994 rule,
right?
And 30 years later, we're looking at a rule that they put together in 1994. But let's look at it, right? And Let's put some effort into it and let's do some studies and let's look at some stuff. And I've said this to them and I've said it on the podcast before. I guarantee you, if you had a Game and Fish and Parks Creo guy there, you would let him stand right at your bump board and take all the data you could possibly get. Right?
Absolutely.
Like, we would love to have that data because that just helps the system and it helps us in tournaments to get that knowledge built in and get the data around it and look at these fish and learn the stuff. Let's do it. Come on, GFP, let's do it. I guarantee if they called and said, hey, we want to do some, be on your release boat to watch these fish or whatever, you would welcome aboard.
Yeah, there's a lot of fishing games, DNRs that we work with across the country, whether we're doing studies and they got to take fish with, do an onolith bone study or they want to do tagging. I mean, we've held a couple of different events in Wisconsin where every single fish that went back had a tag on it. And I've been contacted by those biologists and said, hey, 2 years ago we tagged this fish. This is how big it is. This is how big it was. And it's really neat to see not only that that we can be partners with them, but then also that our system works. There's a lot of talk out there, but truly the system works.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's, it's not rocket science that they need fresh, cold water, right? I mean, but if it's hot water, they don't need freezing cold water. They need the accurate temperature water. Like you said, we're getting mixed reports of what the temperature is. So we got to figure out how to keep our tanks at that temperature. That's a game, right? That's all stuff we care about. We don't want to throw these things in the back end of a 70s Ford pickup with a tarp and get to the dump and throw them away. That's not what we're out here doing, and none of our anglers want that, right? And fish care starts from the time that fish is caught.
Yeah,
we had an event a few years ago. We took over that. We changed a bunch of stuff to make these guys have to be forced into taking care of their fish better. We had guys bringing them up in like Walmart sacks and landing nets, and mad they didn't swim away. Well, how long did you have it out of water, guys?
Right.
We can have the best system in the world. If you keep it out of water for 20 minutes, it's not going to make it back.
Yeah, I can't bring them back to life. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so, I mean, kudos to you guys and your anglers that do take care of it. And like I said, it starts at the angler level. And I think all the anglers out there want these fish to go back. As many terms you've been a part of, how many anglers like, I want my fish to clean after 10-hour day on the
a handful at best, and it really depends on where we're at, and it is not a popular thing to do. If we got the opportunity to release fish, everybody's on board.
I mean, if you got to kill them, there might be a few people that take them. If it's a release, great. I can go home and get my boat ready for tomorrow.
That's right.
That's right. I mean, I know you got a bunch to do, buddy. We appreciate you hopping on.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, and we'll let you go. We're gonna kind of kick some stuff around here a little bit, and we'll let you get on your way. And you got boats to back up, and probably a dinner to eat.
Yeah, right. At some point. Yep. Absolutely. I appreciate it, guys. Really do. Glad you guys have this platform to talk about it. I've seen quite a few of your podcasts, and you guys do a great job. And glad to have you guys come and hang out with us tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing y'all. And it should be a great time. I mean, it's going to be a battle. Consistency is going to be key. We'll see what happens.
It's fun to see who's still on top.
Yeah.
I mean, it's every event's that way, right? But I mean, there's some weight up top, and then there's some mid-range, and then there's some bottom. Right. And I love it as a tournament director. I'd rather have a tough fishery than everybody bring in, all their fish every time, right? I love it to see the better angler is on a tough fishery.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I'm distracted by what's going on.
That's all right. It's been great to have you on. Thank you much. Thanks for your cooperation and willingness to join us, and all of the stuff you've given us during the day for the radio station and Mobridge. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.
Well, awesome. I mean, how many other podcasts have the tournament director on mid tournament?
Yeah, I don't. Jeff, thank you for that. Yeah, I don't think it happens. I don't think it happens very often. So it's great to have him on.
I've been saving a comment from Uncle Lou. I'm going to let you take this one. I'm guessing. I think I know what he means, but I'll see what you think.
Let's see. Did Mobridge showing today storm cleanup? So didn't make it up. Yeah. I Uncle Lou. I think it was fantastic. Unfortunately, I think Jeff's shaking his head there. He's still hanging out, but Mobridge. Well, here, let me pop it up again. I hate this that I don't have the black border around the pictures, but I just, with everything going on, there was absolutely no time to get that. And I'm not sure why the computer's reacting slow. So Jeff, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Let me pop up some of these pictures here real quick. All right. If you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I mean, just go with it. I hate that we don't have the black square there, man. I'll tell you what, this is, so look at that. That's Eric McCoy, of course. And his monster over. We got the picture of Chad. We got that one in there. Let's go to this one. Oh, there's Chad with I can't remember who he was fishing with, but there's a couple of the big ones. Hey, here's Hunter Friend. So he's got a nice fish. I think things are starting to click a little bit quicker here. And that's Evan Rosemore, I think. Look at the two monsters that he had there. I mean, this is fantastic. Tom let his, I think, 16-year-old, I believe, co-angler hold the biggest fish for that set of pictures. So that was phenomenal. See what we've got going on here. All these little thumbnails are so small, I can't see them all. Oh, there's Tom holding the big fish. And what do we have here? Yeah, so look at these gorgeous fish. And then I'll pop this up quick. Here's our leader. Here's our leader. There we go. Finally. So those are the two monsters that Dylan and here's the thing.
He caught one live and said it was his PB. He was live when he caught the big one.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. There were a lot of people talking about the fact that he had a 12-pounder and so everybody was waiting for him and everybody's looking and it's like, okay, where's Nussbaum's car at? Where's his pickup at or whatever? And all of a sudden, we get to the end and here he is like, oh, awesome. We're going to have some activity here. But here's the deal. It was very consistent through about 3.5 hours to weigh in, which whatever, it really wasn't that bad. It wasn't that big a deal, Yeah, right. Uncle Lou. Yeah, there were some beautiful fish caught today. And that's just a few pictures. I think I probably took 200 pictures. And if I plopped up every picture from every team, I don't think that we'd get sick of looking at the pictures, but there were just a lot of really nice fish caught. And I think the one thing that I took away from the day is the slot fish are gorgeous. The slot fish have bellies on them. They're little, they're little footballs or whatever. They're thick and full and they're gorgeous slot fish.
Well, we got a call out for you.
Oh, need the Chasen and Matt team. Yeah, well, I don't think Matt's ever fished before, and you wouldn't want me to be the pro because I'm hardly good enough to be a co. I don't think I could be a co. I don't know about that, but Matt was out there in full fashion today. Matt Giavoni from our sports department.
Did he have his suit on?
No, he did not.
I'm gonna be really. You tell Matt tomorrow. I'm gonna be really disappointed if I show up. He's not wearing his suit to weigh-ins.
I will. I'll tell him that because there's a lot of folks that love that suit and tie. And here's a 21-year-old kid that comes from New York, right? And he comes in to do he's doing his own thing. The suit and tie is his deal. He's wearing the coat that they gave him because they're like, here, you don't need to wear a suit and tie. Here, we'll buy you a coat. So they got him a DRG coat. And he wants to wear a suit and tie because he was taught that's how you dress in a respectful working environment. And so that's what he chooses to do. And it's truly amazing. But the kid is truly amazing. in himself. I mean, it's a pleasure to work with the young guy, and it's a ton of fun. It's a ton of fun to live in Mobridge. It's fun to see how Mobridge comes out for these events. Still, you look at the crowd of people, and I said it on the radio a lot this morning. Please come to weigh-ins at 3:00 on Wednesday and Thursday, because I saw Tour Level Gold last night. Episode 2 came out, and it was, of course, all about Lake Erie. And I don't know, there were 20 people at the weigh-in. The 2-day weigh-in. I'm like, what? Okay, let's show, because Tour Level Gold's gonna show the drone footage, and they're gonna get to see the crowd, and there will have pictures of the crowd, because there was a crowd worth looking at, right? So thanks to everybody that came out to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to get up there tomorrow afternoon, watch weigh-ins, and we with the fish crew, it was your idea to put a crowd cam up to show people that are watching at home how many people actually show up to watch a weigh-in. And I think it's cameras ever like your picture. Pop your picture up. You just took a snapshot of somewhere.
Oh, I was just standing there.
A full grasp of how many people were probably there.
Yeah, no, and actually, you see the foot on the lower left. So I actually cropped in, because I think I was on, you get 0.6, 1, 2, 3, and then you can zoom in however many times. And I was on 1, and I'm like, okay, this crowd is big, but I that guy standing there his face was right in the picture. I'm like, I'm gonna crop him out. So yeah, you didn't see a third of the crowd, because I cropped that picture down to get that fella out of there, so that he wouldn't have the side of his face in that picture and people giving him crap.
So I think that's one thing we can say. South Dakota shows up to watch weigh-ins. Gov Cup is insane, the amount of people. When I got people that try to come and say we couldn't get anywhere near the stage to say hi to you,
right?
That's a pretty cool deal. And these anglers deserve that, right? They deserve the people to come watch them and watch online, and and it's a lot of work. We get our haters. National Walleye Trail gets their haters. I think they've done a great job stepping up their game this year.
They have.
Like I said, I told Jeff I really wish he'd release who's in the event even after the rules meeting's over. Just give us who's in that event. We all kind of know some of our buddies are there because they say they're there, or you scroll Facebook. You do some people scroll Facebook Marketplace to scroll the doom. I scroll the thing to find who's doing what in Mobridge and who's there, for the National Walleye Trail event. So give us that list, because there was guys that fished. I had no idea they signed up.
Yeah. I was quite surprised at some of the guys that were there. I didn't expect some of the guys I saw, but they came from everywhere.
Yeah.
So run down the top 5 or 10 there, because you've got it right in front of you.
Yeah, so I got Dylan Nussbaum, Michael Hofer at 28 pounds leading it. Bo Schilling, Joe Hartnett, 26.09. Eric McCoy, Brian Folds, 25 pounds. Isaac Lotchett, Jeremy Rowe, 24.12. Nate Netto from Pier and Reese Brentoff, 24 pounds. Evan Rosemore, Cody Dietz at 22.15. Jason Saul, Jeff Uzzle at 22.4. John Wessel and Tyler Podol at 21.13. Gage Gordon, Colin Instead at 21.06. Chris Scoder and Derek Carter at 21.05.
Okay.
And I guess Caden Doris and Travis Kerbill is at 21.05. So there's a tie for 10th place. And there's some ties in there, Yep. But I mean, you get down into 20th place is Hunter Friend at 18.2. He's 10 pounds out of the lead, but he is clipping at the doors of top 5.
Yeah, not out of it. There are quite a few guys that are not out of it, that didn't weigh 20 pounds. And when you look at the way the lake was last weekend for the Casino Cup, 22 pounds, an 11-pound big, and total of 6 fish weighed. I think even when I talked to Sheldon Meininger, he's talking 30, I think he said 35 to 41, something like that. So we're talking 17, 18-pound bags, maybe 19, 20 pounds, whatever. So honestly, for as much as everybody said or complained, or not really complained, but said that the bite was tough, and it was tough. The way the explanation was the same amongst dozens of anglers. It still showed pretty good, because we're still looking at, if we double it, we're looking at 55 to 58 points to win it if somebody comes in with another 26 to 28 pound bag.
I mean, like I said it last week, 50 to 54 pounds. And
you're all, I don't know how the hell you get that, but you
I'm
get it.
feeling pretty confident on that. I mean, Dylan's a stick. I'm not saying Dylan's going to drop, but 28 pounds back to back. I mean,
that's hard. I know.
Yep, you're at 54 pounds if he doubles 28 pounds.
And to come in with anything over 28 is going to be super tough. But Bo could come in with 28 or 29 tomorrow. Dylan, who knows? I think Dylan Nussbaum has changed the way he fishes. He fishes cleaner. He fishes a heck of a lot better, and he's always been very good at it. So when you say a heck of a lot better, it's saying a lot, but it's not, because he's always been a great angler, but he really shows up super strong. And he's one of those guys that you could say is, kind of sort of always in the top 10, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was looking at the leaderboard, and if you go back, give me a second. Let me do this just because I've got a computer open in front of me. I was looking at this today. I took a peek at this today. So if I go back to the Monroe event, right? Okay, so top 10 in Monroe: Austin Tomasak, Dylan Nussbaum. So Dylan's leading. Chad Schilling, Bo Schilling. He's in second.
Gage Gordon.
You got Gage Gordon, who's sitting in 9th place. Jake Cahy, Eric McCoy, who's sitting in 3rd place. Janice something is sitting in 8th. Max Wilson didn't have a good day. Drake McCarthy didn't have a day. Isaac Lotchett was in 12th. He's in 4th.
John Wessel should be up there somewhere.
Yep. John Wessel was in 16th after Lake Erie, and he's sitting in 8th. I mean, you've got some very consistent guys that are sitting in the top 10 right now.
Yeah, right.
Or top 10 in Lake Erie, top 20 in Lake Erie.
Yep. And we've got a kind of a changing of the guard here, a little bit, right? We're seeing some names, and it's fun. It's really fun. It's fun to watch all the Tom Wynn did not have the greatest day today, and I think he's in the right frame of mind to change that tomorrow. Jaden Wendell, Valley City, came in, I think, with 1 fish, and hopefully, he doesn't let that bother him, and he just keeps his head down and fishes straight through it. So, I guess
you have guys that, Tom isn't phased, right? I mean, Tom,
right.
Tom can go out and weigh 20 pounds tomorrow, no problem. Yeah. I mean, that's Tom Wynn. He doesn't let stuff get to him. I mean, he's sitting in 57th place with 12 pounds.
Right.
I mean, he's got to have a big day tomorrow, but he can do it, know.
Did Paul Zine have 18 pounds? I can't remember.
I believe he had 18. Let's see here. Cody Rader had a good showing.
Yeah, Rader actually. Yeah, he had a great bag. I thought he had a good bag.
Had 17.
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, it's not over. I mean,
no.
Where do we end up? You just asked that. I just scrolled past
18 pounds. I don't remember.
18 pounds. He's sitting in 21st place.
Okay, I was going to say 2021, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, you've got some good bags right in there, and that 18-pound mark is not. I mean, you're 10 pounds back, but you still got a lot of room to improve. I mean, and these guys got to be able to go catch these fish, and especially with how everybody talked practice was with these fish moving a lot.
Well, honestly, really evidence of that. Fish moving a lot, right? Because I talked to Tom, and we got into it in length a little bit, and I mean, basically the fish are moving, right? And you got to chase them, you got to follow them, and he's good at that. But Tyson Keller, I think, weighed 1 fish today, 1 very nice fish,
11-pounder,
and right, yes. but that's how difficult it was. And here again, I'll say it because they're like, well, what happened? You know what? Walleye fishing, walleye tournament fishing, whatever, it will keep everybody honest. And not everybody is going to be a stick and be on top of their game 100% of the time. Tyson could come out tomorrow and win the thing because he's that good, right? Tom could come out tomorrow and win the thing because he's that good. Some guys had bad days, and it happens. And, and I feel for them, but I also know they're pro enough to go out and give it their best the next day, not let the bad shot bother them and keep golfing, right? So it's going to be fun tomorrow. I'm very excited to see how the fishing goes, and I'm very curious to see who comes in at number 1. And frankly, I'm just as curious to see who comes in 10th and 20th because there's a lot of great anglers fishing here, and only one guy can win it. So, yeah.
It's going to be a battle. So,
yep,
hopefully next week we get the winner on.
You know what? I hope so, too. I'm going to be standing right next to them because they're going to come off stage, and I'm going to take a picture of them with their fish, and I am going to simply say Wednesday night, 7:00. So I'll try.
And get their info because you've done that before and not had their phone number.
Yep, right on. I will get it figured out. All right, my friends. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow on the Outdoor Teamworks website. You can catch it on Facebook or on their website. I find it works great on the website. Or come to Mobridge and watch it with us at 3:00. That'd be great.
Yeah. We'll see you guys there. Thank you
much. Yep, we'll see you in Mobridge.